I'm Meredith with Extreme Terrain, and welcome to this installment of Customer Builds. Now, this is a series where we showcase different rigs from our customer build pages right here on our site to hopefully give you some ideas or even some inspiration for your ride at home. Now, in this episode, we're going to be catching up with Mike from North Carolina about his fully armored 2017 JK. Now, if you want to see more on Mike's build, including a full breakdown of his mods list, you can check out his page on the site, or for those of you watching right here on YouTube, you can click the link down below. So what do you say we connect with Mike and check out his build? Hey, how are you doing?
Good, thank you very much. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for joining with me today. I'm really excited to talk about your Jeep. So you have a 2017 JK. Can you tell me a little bit more about it and how you got into it and how you got into Jeeping?
For the last 9 years, I've been going to Outer Banks and I wanted to experience the 4x4. And when the first time I was able to do that, I was using a Jeep of my friends at the time who just bought a Rubicon. And we drove back to New York and I started searching for my own Jeep, so therefore we could stay out on the 4x4 instead of always renting somewhere. When I did that in 2019, the rest is history.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it starts. You get a little taste from a buddy or just experiencing it somewhere, and then you have to get your own. And you've done a whole lot of work to it. Starting off with the foundation and kind of the suspension and your wheels and tires, can you tell me a little bit more about your lift and the wheels and tires that you have on your Jeep now?
When I first bought the Jeep, it was plain Jane, straight, no bells and whistles. When I started commuting to work, driving the Jeep every day, it had the standard BF Goodrich mud tires on it. Well, I chewed through them very quickly and I started to research some other halfway decent wheels that were all-terrain, because being on the beach, whether or not I go to some of the off-road trails of some sort, I wanted something that would hold up. So I started looking at the 35 Ridge Grapplers. So I wanted to go wider, so I had enough that would also stick out past my fenders a little bit, and I knew that I was going to end up tearing the fenders off as well to give me the aggressive look. And I don't want to be too aggressive, but I wanted to have still that aggressive look to still look like it was, wow, that's a nice looking Jeep. And it was all things that I can do myself because I like to tinker with things like that. So I started with that. I put a 3.5-inch lift on it, which I needed by going with a bigger tire, but I kept the same 17-inch rim size. And then from there, I did the lift, had that all done with the rugged Ridge. And then I did the Ridge Grappler tires. And then I did the standard Ultra type, standard black on black, nothing fancy for the rims. I chose the pattern of the circles, which I didn't realize there was a theme there at first. And it just kind of trickled and went through the rest of the Jeep.
I mean, it sounds like 35 was a good decision, especially paired with the 3.5-inch lift. And it sounds like you've done some fenders and armor to kind of help you out with the space and the room that you needed for the 35s as well. So I think that that's a great decision as far as wheel and tire size. But it sounds like your Jeep is pretty much armored to the T if you were to take any damage. So can you tell me a little bit more about what you have starting in the front when it comes to armor?
Yeah, so in the front, I did the barricade all the way around. I like the textured look. I like how it was armored already, like you said. And I did the blend as one piece fit seamlessly into the other, such as the front bumper already had all of the configurations to take the fog lights into the bumper area instead of in the front of the grille. And then it transitioned to the skid plate that went up underneath that covers all the pitch links and everything. I chose that, so then therefore it was covered. And again, it gave that seamless look like it was all built into one body. From there, I did the same rear barricade, bumper, and tire carrier because I needed something that was obviously going to hold the weight of the significantly increased size tire and rim. That, and I liked how it swung out and not left everything on top of the hinges for the tailgate itself, so it was an independent swing. The fenders are also barricade, again with the texture. The newer Jeeps that were coming out in 2020, such as the JLs, I liked how the daytime running lights or the fenders had the lights built in. The JKs did not have that, so I specifically searched and I found the barricades had that, so I was able to take my side marker lights, rewire them in, so then therefore my lights are there all the time. I had a vision in my head of what it was supposed to look like, and I just tried to match it as well as I could.
Obviously, you've gone through all of your lighting on the front. Have you adjust any lighting in the back or on the interior?
Yeah, I took all the lights completely off the exterior and on the interior, my dome lights and everything, and I moved everything over to LED, obviously because I eliminated the bulbs and it gave me a longer lifetime.
So was that your main buying decision when it comes to swapping them over, or was it for any other reason as well?
I physically had in my mind that LED was the way to go. I wanted to take away the filament of the light bulb itself. I've never been a big opponent of those, just because when one blows, the other one blows.
And then you're in a run around trying to fix all of them. Yeah. Speaking of the dome lights on the interior, can you tell me a little bit more about some mods that you've done with your interior as well? I know we spoke a little bit about the head unit before. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
The Insane Audio navigation head unit was my latest that I just finished last week, actually. It gave me the capabilities, being a 2017, to have Android Play, CarPlay, and stuff like that, since I have both of those type of phones. So it gave me all those capabilities. Plus, it gave me the boost that I was looking for in the head unit with the GPS upgrade, because obviously the GPSs were outdated already, but there was a lot of features, and the install itself was very, very easy.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about that before. Sometimes head units can be quite the nightmare, especially when it comes to wiring, if it's universal, if it's not specifically made for the Jeep wiring harness. But Insane Audio, as you are familiar with now, is very Jeep friendly. It's like a plug and play operation, and it's a complete 180 from what the factory head unit is capable of. I saw that you also have a little bit of performance when it comes to the efficiency with your Jeep. Can you tell me about what you've done to kind of give your Jeep overall a little bit of a boost?
I added the Red Rock 4x4 cold air intake, and I got rid of the stock, which in my mind was not getting enough cold air in case you needed it, because with the JKs, it traps all the heat underneath the hood anyways. And I started with that one when I first got the Jeep, and I noticed that my radiator was overheating, and I had my radiator replaced just because I wanted to make sure there was nothing wrong with the radiator and everything. And during that time frame, that was when I stumbled on, I'm putting a cold air intake on this bad boy. So that's what I did with that. And then I also upgraded the standard exhaust to a Axleback. I wanted to have that little bit of rumble, but not too aggressive rumble.
We kind of touched on everything when it comes to your Jeep. Do you have any future mods, future plans? Do you have any inspiration to kind of go to, or upgrades that you want to do next?
Yes. One is to help take some more of the hot air from the engine out. I'm very, very close to doing the Deviate Avenger heat dispersion hood.
That's a very popular one, especially for that reason.
Yep. I'm actually talking to an auto body shop now to make sure that they can get my paint and match it and everything else before I pull the trigger, because I don't want to have it and then have it sitting around. So I'm looking at that next. And then before the head unit, I said I was going to be all done, but it's addicting. So
it's never done. I think you've done a really good job so far. And everybody's like, oh, once I get to this point, I'll mark it done. I'll be okay with just this, but nobody's ever done.
That's right.
Thank you for talking with me. Thank you for connecting with me. Again, like I told you before, I love connecting with the customers here and hearing more about why you chose your build and personalized it the way that you did it. And I think that you have an awesome build going on. So again, thank you for joining with me.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
So that's going to do it for this installment of Customer Builds. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content, product videos, and install videos. And always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.